And welcome back, everyone. Welcome back. Whew, hope you enjoyed that lovely break. A bit of an extended break as we get ready for the lower bracket finals of the H.4.0.S Galactic Battle by ENDORFY. Welcome. I'm, of course, your host, Live VIP, and with me, I'm no longer joined by Yakov the Zaku. He has gone and gotten some rest. I don't blame him. It's been a long broadcast. We are reaching the 12-hour mark of non-stop casting, with some breaks in between. But I'm not alone. I'm joined by the one, the only, the casting Jersey herself. Welcome, Kura.
Why, hello there. Also, chat quickly. Let me know if I sound well, because I do use a different mic than usually. So let me know. But in the meantime, we are already in our lower bracket finals.
We are in the lower bracket finals, and here we go. Surprised to see these two players in the lower bracket finals. In the bottom right-hand corner, we have the Polish Zerg player, the blue Zerg representing Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And in the top left of Golden Aura, we have our red Terran player from Natus Vincere? How do I pronounce that? From Navi, it is Spirit.
Here we go. And of course, it wouldn't be a Polish broadcast without our resident Polish caster. And of course, part of the CranKy Ducklings Kura. Kura, welcome. Have you been enjoying yourself? You've been handling the production up until now.
Yeah, it was pretty chill on the production, not gonna lie. Like in general, the event has been going quite smoothly, so the production was going pretty well. And now I am in front of the mic, which is not my forte, but still, I mean, I cannot skip a Polish event, right?
Exactly. You usually hear whenever we cast the house, the Open Cups, the bi-weekly events. We have been covering. You've been here for the eSport events in years past, and even, of course, in the SE2 circuit of house as well. So thank you for jumping by. I appreciate the support. We're almost done. There's only 2 series left. We're nearing the end of the broadcast. But again, really surprised to see these two here in the finals. Do you have any thoughts on that? On seeing both Spirit and Elazer fighting for a chance to make it to the finals?
See, this may sound a little bit. I'm not that surprised to see Elazer here. I'm more surprised to see Spirit here, because Spirit has been on a roll lately. I mean, that's the whole reason why he got picked up by Navi in the first place. Like he's been like reaching the top, and then he gets knocked down.
100%. I do agree, especially because we have been casting a lot of Elazer recently in those online events, and Elazer has been looking shaky, right? Like, we've seen Elazer fall to Papi, we've seen him fall to Cristiano, we've seen him fall to Geralt. So not the biggest of surprises here, but as you mentioned, for Spirit also to fall as well is crazy. So Cristiano, he's having the run of a lifetime, and as we get ready for our openers, we have a very interesting build here from Spirit, which is what I expect. He likes to have fun against Elazer, and Spirit, he went for a CC first. CC first into a hidden factory behind the mineral line.
You just unlocked a memory from one of the previous LANs.
Yep.
Oh no.
Yeah, if you remember last year in the SE2 circuit, the previous LAN event for House, Spirit, he was wild. He went for these crazy builds here against Elazer, and I'm curious how crazy he is here. He's known for standard play, but specifically against Elazer, he went like 2-port BC, he cheesed, he proxied, he was all in. Like, Spirit was crazy against Elazer last time.
I was just very confused where that factory was going. I guess he was looking for an overlord or something.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've seen that before, like behind the base.
He was checking for the Overlord. It's going to be a third CC after the Starport, so a very aggressive build. I'm curious if this is going to be BC, and yep, there it is. Yep. It is going to be a hidden battlecruiser opener from Spirit.
Yeah, Elazer will try to scout the base. I think I saw a few links on the map, but I don't think he will be able to get in the base, even if he tries. So I guess he will be completely in the dark for this. And if you remember, Elazer is not one to make spores. So hopefully he has queens at least, because this will be rough.
Yeah, Elazer is usually really greedy in this matchup, so we have to be careful. Again, as you mentioned, I recommend checking out the VODs from last year, but Spirit has clowned all over Elazer with BCs before, has beaten him with BCs, and it could happen again. Now, this time it's only 1 starport. Thankfully, this time it's not 2-port BC, so there's going to be less to worry about, but things to worry about nonetheless.
I guess this is the day of the BCs after our pre-fall on the very beginning of the day, huh?
Yeah, true. It started with the BC, it ends with the BC, and he is going to. Let's go! It is 2-port BC. I'm getting deja vu. It's 2023 all over again.
Yep, we are going full BCs, and still, Elazer is not making spores. He has a few queens, but not a lot of them. He's going for lair, he's going for Baneling Nest, but... Okay, we have spores now. We have some spores. We're doing it.
Spores are on the way. The problem right now is that Elazer has no idea what's happening. He is still in the dark as to what is going on, and it could be a multitude of different things right now. It could be a 2-on-1, it could be 3CC, of course, it could be Banshee play. Elazer is in the dark and yet to figure it out. Behind this, when it came to his opener, he did saturate his third base. He's building up queens. We have a lair into Baneling Nest, a very safe way to open up. This will keep you safe against Hellbat pushes, is what I will say. Lings try to get in, but they only see Marines here at the ramp.
That said, it's important to also keep in mind that Elazer is making quite a few of those links, as well as the Banelings. Oh, but the first BC is already in the base. The queens are trying to save their sister, and they will be able to do so.
Yeah, the Clutch Transfuser, the Queen will survive, getting a lot of damage dealt here to the BC. The BC is going to have to waddle the hell out of there. It will survive, but isn't able to achieve too much. The BC kills one drone, I believe. The Queen stands strong, and our Elazer is aware of the opener, but he doesn't know how committed this is. We've been muled to repair. He doesn't know that it's 2-port BC, not 1.
I almost want to say, do you think Spirit revealed that first BC a bit too fast? Shouldn't he like wait for at least a second one, maybe?
I think he wants to catch him off guard with 2 more BCs. Like, I think he wants to, like, fake out a single BC opener. Meanwhile, the Queens, they come in to try to catch his guard. Oh, Spirit being very adventurous with this, and he might... Yeah, he will lose the BC.
Yeah, just barely. The BC does not escape, and the Queens will take it down. At the same time, the third base is denied for the time being by those links of Elazer, and... I mean, Spirit is not doing very well with that.
Yeah, I mean, really good counter damage here by Elazer, but here come the next 2 BCs right into the natural base. Queens are in position. How many queens do we have? We have 11 queens in total. That is going to be enough. Yamato is done, though. We can Yamato down to all those queens.
Yeah, and another of 2 of those queens looks like will be going down, so we are going down in the number of queens, but the transfusers are still available, so they will be able to chase them off, but for how long?
Yeah, these BCs have gone to work. 6 queens just went down. More than half the queens have fallen. We get into the main base at the same time. We have a massive link counterattack. This time, the Marines are in position.
Yeah, the Marines are here. The tanks are joining as well, so they will be able to protect this base and actually clean up most of those links.
Yeah, but we do have a couple of stragglers here in the middle line. SCVs are going down. We're getting a lot of damage done here. 4 workers do fall. At the same time, the BCs did survive. They killed how many queens in total? 7 queens, and they do manage to get out.
Yeah, that's quite the number of queens, and how many does Elazer have right now? We are on 8 queens currently, so still a decent number, but those beasts will continue to wreak havoc among the bases.
They will continue. Meanwhile, Clutch Transfuse, can we keep the base alive? It's getting quite low, and Spirit, he's pushing. He's pushing across the map. Elazer does have a good economy. I will say that. He does have a solid economy, but does he have a large enough army? He has Lings. Where are the Banelings is the real question, because we have a Marine force moving out.
Yeah, the Banelings were all used up, but yeah, we do catch the tanks. We catch some Marines as well, and actually Spirit is forced to go back home.
Yeah, exactly. Spirit forced the big up, and now the third base is exposed. We have to give up on it, as there is no saving this third base, as we do actually pull back. Elazer going to be respecting this position quite a bit, and Elazer has gone away with making workers. The BCs have dealt damage, that is true, but they haven't touched the economy. That's what's important. The Queens were able to sustain themselves, they did survive, they did defend, and the economy has been left untouched by Elazer.
Yeah, like Elazer has lost a lot of queens, but it was just the queens. Like the drones for the most part were untouched, especially on the more western side of his bases. The BCs are coming in once again, but with Hydras now in the play as well, I mean, there's quite a lot of anti-air already.
Exactly. Like, this build from Spirit had to snowball more out of control. Losing the first BC was huge. Like, imagine that push with another full health BC when the other 2 came in, and we probably are able to break Elazer then and there and kill all the queens. Like, that would have been huge. That would have been so much extra DPS and an extra Yamato as well. Now Spirit is on the back foot. There are Hydras to keep up. There's plenty of Lingbane on the ground working on upgrades. Upgrades have been delayed because of the build of Elazer, but it's all in production here, and so far we're keeping up.
Yeah, we're keeping out. Even the potential drops or smaller attacks by Spirit are denied. The BCs are not able to find any way into the bases either, with the Hydras chasing them around the map. And yeah, Spirit doesn't know where to attack here.
Well, I mean, he just cannot attack in. One BC got picked off. There's only one battlecruiser left. Of course, there's a bio transition behind this. We're getting our third base up running. 4 CCs on the way. But Spirit has lost map control. Now he's stuck at home, and now Elazer is free. He doesn't have to push in, by the way. Elazer, all he has to do is just chill and deny the 5th and just take every base on the map.
Okay, this was a scary moment as Elazer was about to run into the base and Spirit was just unsieging his tanks, but in the end both armies just move back and looks like we have a pause.
Yeah, both armies, they do back off here. To quickly to kind of take stock here at our situation, Elazer has maxed out with Lingbane Hydra. As we did say, though, the ideal is for Spirit to fight here with his defender's advantage, with reinforcements, with the high ground, with the tank siege up as well. So pushing in is going to be a difficult thing to do. Spirit can bounce back if he can take a fight. The question is, does Elazer push in? Does he give him that fight?
And we'll find out. It looks like he's trying to set up a bit of a surround, but it will not be an easy position to attack into anyway. The Banelings are still being made, but Elazer is running in.
Yeah, Spirit, he's out of position. 2, 3 tanks going to be going down. The Banelings, they head towards that middle line as well, and SCVs are going to be falling. We go for the army!
Yeah, the tanks are on siege, and the Banelings roll into the army. Some of them on the tanks, but a few of them on the Marines as well.
Yeah, exactly. Not the best trade from Elazer, but he takes down the middle line. He shuts down the CC as well. That's a kill on the third base. So good trades overall. And yes, Elazer may have spent his army, but he can remax. Again, he's on 80 plus drones at this point. He's taking more bases. He can remax again and again.
Yeah, the important part is that the place that they're fighting at is Spirit's third base. Meanwhile, Elazer has all that map to himself pretty much. Like, there's no harassment going his way ever since he got the control of the map.
Yeah, and again, a lot of this does come down to the BC opener. Again, the BC opener had to get more damage done because it didn't. Now Spirit has lost map control. Now he's stuck at home. There is potential for a comeback here on Golden Aura. Golden Aura is known for its kind of turtle play, and you can secure yourself on 4 and then 5 bases relatively well. But Spirit is stuck at home, and that's the problem here, is that Elazer is free to do whatever he wants.
That's it. When you say Elazer, Spirit, and Turtle, I have flashbacks of the previous finals.
Of Neo Humanity?
It might have been Neo Humanity, yes.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, there aren't really many maps like that here, and especially in the best of 3 where we have vetoes. Like that shouldn't happen again. That shouldn't happen again.
Are you sure? Are you sure?
Yeah. As Hydra's going to be forcing back that BC. It did deny mining time for a moment. Did get a lot of damage done here to the hatchery as well. But again, Spirit is, for the most part, still stuck at home. He would love to go for some drop play, but it's so risky here because there's just so much anti-air. There are so many Hydras out on the field, and potentially even Vipers.
I like how Elazer is also constantly like setting up these attacks. Like, he's gathering his forces on either side of the bases of Spirit, and anytime he notices an opening, he can just go straight in.
Exactly. And he's even taking some of Spirit's bases as he expands aggressively towards his opponent. At the same time, Spirit is in the midst of taking his 5th. This is a very exposed location. It's here on the low ground. You don't have that high ground advantage that you otherwise would have, so this is going to be a very vulnerable position that Spirit has to fortify.
I mean, you say vulnerable position, the creep is already almost reaching that base, so that's even better for Elazer, as he can just queue his army straight in there.
And here we go. We collapse on this position. There are a couple of tanks here, but alas, there are just too many Banelings we roll on in. There's not really much to kill here. The Queens have a hard time overextending, and that wasn't a bad fight for Spirit overall. Meanwhile, towards the top right, ooh, his drops are caught out.
Yeah, he was going towards the north side of the map, but unfortunately for him, there is a Zerg base already there together with some army to defend it, and this drop will be denied.
So we had a bit of a shaky fight from Elazer towards the south, but a much better, a much cleaner fight here towards the top right. And now Elazer can focus on this southern push. He does just consolidate his army, brings everything together. Vipers have hit the field, and here we go. We come in for some blinding clouds.
Yeah, actually, the MP on the Viper will deny it, but at the same time, the base is completely destroyed. 17 SCVs going down. The CC is saved, but only the CC.
Yeah, the CC is saved. BC barely does survive. Tank on the low ground goes down, even forcing a bit of friendly fire. That's a lot of tanks here on top of the ramp. We cannot push into this, but we don't need to. Again, the win condition for Elazer is deny this 5th over and over again as often as we can.
I mean, Elazer has literally every other base on the map. Even the one in the bottom left is already taken.
Yeah, he has all of his bases. Looks like top right is going to be going down at the same time. Elazer threatens a dive. We can see Spirit here fortifying his position, slowly pushing forward with more of those tanks. BC goes down. Finally, the final BC has fallen. And I love how proactive Elazer is, mining from these more exposed bases here, getting as much as he can, because eventually it's possible that Spirit could take this for himself.
Yeah, and I mean, firstly, you get more resources from the base in case it gets taken, and secondly, it will be less resources for Spirit, so definitely some nice planning there from Elazer, and it doesn't look like Spirit can really deny that base for him, because he's so focused on defending the one that he got.
Yeah, exactly. And here we go. We got a blinding cloud here towards the bottom left. The Baileys, they roll into the planetary. There's no lifting. Not this time. The planetary will fall. The main army does trade nicely. That is true. You can see that Spirit doesn't really budge when it comes to the supply. He still maintains it. But the economy, that's a different story.
Yeah, another base goes down. Some of the workers as well. And he will have to remake this. And that is time and resources that he has to spend. And he doesn't really want to spend. Like, look at his bank. It's basically non-existent.
Is non-existent. But what's important is that Spirit is maxing out. There was a time when Elazer was up 20, 30, 40 army supply. That time is no longer here. This means that against Spirit, he can win a fight, and because we're on Golden Ore, the rush distance by ground is quite short, so we can trigger a big counterattack, but at the same time, we take down the third once again.
Yeah, that was another orbital going down, so once again, no orbitals, no Muse, so it's once again a big hit to the economy of Spirit, and Elazer is not done with the attacking. He will just wait for the army to move out of position and go again.
Yeah, we do see Spirit rotating around. He does get here a little bit too late. Big blinding cloud here covering 3 of those tanks. Bailey's a crash on in as well. The tanks that were caught on siege. Big trade here for Elazer, and he even gets into the Mineral Lion.
Yeah, 9 SCVs going down. The orbital has to be lifted, but it does survive for now. And Elazer will have to regroup, but at the same time he's attacking at the north as well. And again, another base being taken.
Yeah, and this time he did kill tanks. I believe he killed 5 tanks here out in the open. That's why this time Spirit does plummet in supply. He's no longer maxed out, and he can no longer counterattack. He is pushing towards the right-hand side, and it is quite important that he has to take down this base, but again, he does expose himself.
Yeah, the ghosts are right in the front. I think most of them are saved, but the tank will fall, and this is mostly Medivac army at this point.
Yeah, mostly medevacs here. Tanks were, of course, left behind, but you can see that Spirit, he just doesn't quite have enough to push out anymore. Not anymore at this point, and Elazer is still happily mining from one of the would-be Spirit bases, as Elazer is rotating once again committing here to 47 Banelings.
Oh boy. We're reaching some high numbers of Banelings there, and those Banelings will be rolling straight into the Spirit's bases. That said, tanks don't care about Banelings as much. And there's less and less bio in this army.
There is less bio, but what there is another free base here as we focus down the CC. Another orbital going to be going down here at the third base location. At the same time, Elazer, he collapses on this position. The Banelings are going straight for the Mineral Lion.
Yeah, they roll straight into those SCVs, and 24 going down, 30 going down total. All of the bases have to be lifted, and the bio is trying to hold strong, but after the SCVs are gone, and GG is called.
GG, well played. Spirit having a little bit too much fun with the opener, going for the double starport BC opener, which has a lot of potential. But remember, the first BC did die immediately. It did fall a little bit prematurely, and that took a little of the wind out of the sails of Spirit. It did set him behind with his opener, and starting behind against a player of the caliber of Elazer is not something you can get away with.
Oh yeah, definitely. If you leave the space to Elazer, he will use it. He will take all of them up. He will take every single base, as we just saw, and he will not let them go.
He will not. And with that, Elazer is up 1-0 again. Spirit, he is our reigning House SZ2 Circuit champion. Last year at the offline event, Spirit, he had his way with Elazer in longer series, is what we should say. Remember, last year, the upper bracket finals and lower bracket finals were best of 5s. And then the final was the best of 7. In longer series, Spirit was looking strong. But this is a best of 3. One more slip up, one more mistake, and Spirit is eliminated from the tournament.
Yeah, and not even in the finals. Imagine if the previous champion, which has been in form lately, because this is also important to point out, because sometimes it fluctuates between seasons. But this is a player who is currently in form, and he will be knocked out before the finals? We'll see.
Yeah, that could be the reality that we do live in here. I mean, I would hope to have an ace match between these two players. I think we deserve an ace match, but we'll see what we do get into as we load into Alkione's game number 2. As we get ready for game number 2, though, a big shout out to Tater Tutor in the chat for gifting a sub to Senju. Gracias, papi, gracias. Thank you so much for the support.
And we are now loaded into the second map of our series. It is Alkione. At least we hope that's the pronunciation. And we are looking at our blue Zerg player, representing Poland and Team Liquid. It is Elazer.
And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponent. We have the Polish Terran player, the Red Terran, representing his new team, Na'Vi. Again, he's our reigning Polish champion, the King of Poland, if you will. But will he lose his crown here tonight? It is Spirit.
Okay, right. How would you pronounce the full name of the team?
I don't know. I haven't seen it.
Look at that.
Huh?
Because I'm pretty sure it's Latin. I think it's Latin.
Yeah, it is. I'm pretty sure I've heard it. Notus Vincere. Yeah.
Vincere? Is that how we say it?
I don't know. I can't remember.
Okay. Does anybody in the chat know Latin?
Hold on. I'm googling how to pronounce.
Uh-huh.
Hold on. Okay, it's apparently in Latin it's Natus Vincere.
In Latin?
If you want to be authentic.
Okay.
Yeah, in Latin.
It sounds more Italian than
Hold on.
Latin. That's right.
Okay. So if you want to be proper, it's Natus Vincere. But I'm just calling it Navi. Screw that.
Okay. Okay. I guess it's just Navi then.
There you go. As we are settling into our openers here, it is going to be a hatch gas pool from our Zerg player. Meanwhile, we do see once again CC first from Spirit, 2 games in a row.
I mean, both of those players are generally rather macro players, so I guess he's not really afraid of Elazer doing anything cheeky.
Yeah, exactly. And again, especially on a map like Alkione, as large as it is a map that Spirit can get away with something like a CC first. Likewise, Elazer isn't really an aggressive player either, so I don't really see Spirit being punished with this kind of opener, and I expect him to be doing this every game in a series whenever he can against Elazer.
Yeah, I fully expect that, especially knowing that they generally their games don't end too early.
Yeah, and this follow-up is very interesting, by the way, because the factory is quite far behind. It is not set up for an add-on swap. We're not going for Hellions here. We're once again going for a 1-1-1. This is once again looking quite similar to what we just saw, looking quite similar to a BC opener.
Do you think it's actually BCs again?
I'm curious here. I am curious if we go for another tech lab on the factory, if we set up an add-on swap, it is going to be a CC after the starport. What I will say is that so far, this is a copy build. Like, this is the exact same build from game 1 from Spirit so far.
Imagine if he just goes BC every game and he actually like wins the series with that.
It's possible. It's possible. Starport is done. Yep, show us the fusion core. There it is. Same build.
Yep, we're going for BBs. I guess, look, Mishu started it. It's all because of Mishu. We're gonna blame it on him.
True. For those that are curious what we're talking about, at the start of the night, at the start of the broadcast, 12 hours ago, we casted a free-for-all. There was a show match free-for-all, and Mishu, the Polish Terran player, did actually whip out and win the free-for-all, took down 7 other players with Mass BC. Mass BC is how he won the show match at the start of the night, and Spirit was inspired, clearly.
And we're not exaggerating when we're saying that he took like several other players, because actually like they were so busy fighting between each other that the PCs just came and defeated them.
Yeah, he was able to A-move with Mass BC. Meanwhile, so far the build is the same. I'm curious if we throw down another second starport, because this could just be a singular BC opener into a bio transition. This could also lead into mech, but so far this factory hasn't really been used for much of anything. my eyes are on this SCV, and there it is! It is once again 2-port BC.
Yeah, we're going BCs again, but do you think he will once again teleport that single BC in, or will he wait for the second one this time? I guess we will see the repeat of the first game, maybe?
I feel like he needs to teleport the first BC in. As I mentioned before, I think it's really smart to fake out a single BC opener.
Okay.
But as we mentioned, he does have to preserve it. He has to babysit it, make sure he doesn't lose it this time.
Yeah, because as we were focusing on what Spirit is doing, Elazer has already taken his 4th base. He's already on 4 bases, he's already working on his stack, he's working on his Banelingness, he's working on even on the spores. How many queens do we have? We have 9 queens right now.
Yeah, so far, Elazer has been droning heavily. He's been quite greedy here, getting fully saturated on 3 bases. He has been skipping some lings. But what I will say as well is that, here we go, the first BC is teleporting straight into the main base. Elazer is playing safely once again, going for a lair. He's not going double Evo chamber, which is, I think, what Spirit hopes was going to be happening.
Yeah, and this time the queens are in position, and 5 drones will go down, but the BC is already very damaged, and I'm not sure if it can actually escape.
Off of Creepy should be able to escape here. The queens cannot keep up, but that was some very, very smooth targeting out of Spirit here. He intentionally did target every single drone. 5 workers go down. The queens, they come in for a flank. Up!
So close! It's like 2 shots away, maybe 1. How much is it per
BC
shot?
does escape. Quite a lot, and Spirit, he does escape. He does escape this time with the BC. This is a much better start for Spirit. The downside here is that he's stuck and he won't be able to mule to repair. He's stuck between queens and more queens.
Yeah, like last time he was able to drop the mule, although that didn't save the BC, but now he will just have to wait for the teleport. No, he's trying to sneak by!
No, he's trying to. There we go. He does catch a glimpse of the queens. He will back off. We do have 2 more BCs on the way. Now, these 2 BCs, they could try to free this battle cruiser. They could dive in. Yep, they could just go straight for these queens. Once he brings them down, then this one can be free once again.
He's actually just dropping the mule. He's gonna stay here. He's just gonna see what he can do with these 3 BCs now here. The queens are waiting to defend, but there's only a few of them, and the hydras are only on the way.
Exactly, they are on the way. More drones going to be going down. Good target firing here out of Spirit once again, targeting down as many drones as he can. He gets 7 workers this time. Much better control here from Spirit in game number 2. Meanwhile, that 3rd BC is being topped up as we speak, and that 3rd BC has a Yamato.
Yeah, let's not forget that the 3rd BC is waiting there. The second of the BCs is going low, but it's not going down yet, and now all 3 will join together.
Yeah, they all come together here. We have some Yamato still halfway off of cooldown. They go for the base, and this hatchery is going to be going down.
Yeah, the 4th hatchery is going down. Elazer is remaking one at another location, but it's also on the way of the BCs, so it may be in danger.
Yeah, but here we go. It's going to be the gold base. So even though we've lost a hatchery, we have the gold to make up for it. So Elazer's economy is still standing strong. BCs are being forced back. The Hydras are amassing. We will soon have Yamatos in a couple of seconds. We can still gain some more value here. And behind this, we are getting into a bio army. And this time, we have many more Marines to push out. This time, there was no Ling counterattack either because this is a much more defendable location. Spirit, he's basically doing the same build, the same playstyle as game number 1, but everything is just so much more smoother and so much more crisp.
Yeah, basically the same thing, but better.
Pretty much.
Yeah, no, actually, because if you remember, he lost the BC, he lost a lot of workers in the base, and this time he has 3 BCs to support this army, or maybe to harass at the same time. He has the army itself, he has a lot of marines, he has the tanks, and he's just able to set up a position against the Elazer's part of the map.
Yeah, it's almost like game 1, he was asleep, but now he's awake. And here we go, Ling Bane collapsing with this army. One of the tanks is caught on siege. BCs are being targeted down as well. It looks like we will break this position. Did I say that too soon, though? Because the Marines, they stim on forward. There's no more Ling Bane.
Yeah, the splits were good, and the Banings did go down. The Hydras are not quite enough to deal with the Marines, and they will just push forward.
Yeah, Hydras, they melt against the Marines one-on-one. They cannot engage. They need Lings and Banelings to support, and there we go. More Lings are in production. 14 drones have gone down to the BC harass, so again, a lot more economic damage. 1 BC did fall, and a big overextension. Oh.
Yeah, that was a bit adventurous, but the BC survives.
Does survive, gets a Yamato off, denies mining here at the gold base. This is what's important right now. The 4th base was killed earlier, and we need to deny this gold base, otherwise Elazer will get out of control.
Yeah, for now we at least deny the mining. The base still stands, but the drones cannot be cannot be transferred back, but at the same time Elazer is preparing a counter-attack and Spirit has to set up his defense.
Yeah, he does pull back, he does recognize the rotation, he's able to keep up. Clutch repairs here with these SCVs as well, keeping these BCs alive. And honestly, Spirit, again, he should be able to deflect this there. It just isn't enough to really threaten him as long as he fights with his tanks.
Yeah, he's trying to tease the army, he's trying to make sure that Elazer comes into the range of the tanks, but Elazer is going straight for the natural actually.
Oh, and he does catch one of the tanks. Big catch here from Elazer. At the same time, the Hydras go straight for the would-be fourth base. The CC very exposed, and with these Hydras, it looks like we can focus it down.
Yeah, the Spirit is not able to stop it as it gets focused down, but at the same time, he may be able to get some of the army, but not a lot actually.
Yeah, the Banelings do zone him away. Once again, the Banelings, they turn back around as well. Fighting off a creep like this is brutal, but the Lings, they come in for a surround, and they try to lock down the Marines, and it looks like they will not. They do survive, but the tanks, they get cleaned up.
Yeah, and the BC as well is going down. There's no repair there, and Elazer just keeps pushing forward. It's just the Marines right now for the defense.
Yeah, no Banelings though, so Elazer, he has to back off. He had a bit of a brutal trade there trying to fight head-to-head with the Marines, but he already achieved what he wanted. He killed the fourth base. He's containing Spirit to 3 bases, while Elazer is not just on 5, working on a 6th base.
Yeah, once again, if you give the Elazer a chance, he will try to expand to the entire map. He will try to drone up. He will try to pull a macro game there.
Will try to. Spirit is forced to back off again. He doesn't really have any momentum anymore, and Elazer is getting out of control. It's been very back and forth. It's been very chaotic these past couple of minutes, or this entire game so far, but now Elazer is firmly in control.
Yeah, I think he did regain the control, at least of his side of the map. He's not quite able to harass a lot of Spirit yet. He does deny that 4 base, which is very important, but Spirit will try to set up on the other side.
Yeah, it's his main. His main is floating over. That's how desperate the situation is for Spirit. He is falling further and further behind. He needs a 4th base. This is scattered by Elazer, and immediately he's working on shutting it down. The rocks are being knocked down, and the win condition for Elazer is not to push into the 3rd or the natural, it's to deny the 4th as much as he can.
Yeah, just like we saw last game, it's denying the mining for Elazer. Like, if he continues to deny the bases of Spirit, like eventually Spirit just will simply run out of resources. If he has no economy, like rebuilding these Terran armies will get increasingly difficult.
Yeah, the big difference here is that the map is working against Elazer. This map is known for its split map play. This map is known for long 30-minute games because it is difficult to actually break and deny this gold. We have high ground here. We have plenty of high ground, plenty of elevation, really good siege positions as well, and Spirit is soon to take it. Can Elazer stop it? Again, it's difficult to do with purely Lingbane Hydra, but he's going to try.
Yeah, he will try, but as you said, it's very hard to do because going up at this ramp against tanks, and they are being sieged in pretty nice position right now. Yeah. I don't think it's a good idea, and I don't think Elazer thinks so either, as he's preparing 2 different attacks.
Yeah, he has a push here towards the left-hand side. He's double expanding, which I do appreciate. These bases are free bases here for Elazer, as he's setting up a run by here, hoping to try to catch Spirit off guard, but he has an army in position.
Yeah, unfortunately, Elazer does meet Spirit's reinforcements. There is a split army for Spirit, and it doesn't look like he can get anything done there. But once again, in the meantime, he is getting that economy up, so eventually he will just outmine Spirit.
Yeah, so even though in a way Elazer has his half of the map, that is true, this time as opposed to the previous game, Spirit has a good economy. He has a very good economy here with the 4th, with the gold base, he's maxing out, and his army is going to be more efficient. And he's fully walling up here, more turrets, sensor towers, CCs for orbitals to start losing SCVs and replacing them with purely mules. Spirit, he's getting ready for a late game.
Oh. Yeah, that he is, but will we get there as Elazer is actually rolling straight into that gold base together with the Lingbane, together with the Hydralisk, and he's destroying it entirely.
Yeah, a beautiful surround here from Elazer. He comes in from every single angle. He shuts down the tanks. He shuts down the planetary as well. And he mainly lost Lingbane. He preserves his Hydras and he preserves his Vipers as well. Very nice fight here from Elazer. And Spirit is being slowed down quite a bit.
Yeah, that he is. He has to reset up this base once again. He puts another CC on the gold base. And yeah, Elazer is still trying to find an angle to attack, but with the tanks it may be a bit difficult.
He needs to, though. Like, again, Spirit is so close to really locking this place down. Like, he
Yeah.
needs a little bit more time to finish up all his stack defense. And once everything finishes, it's going to be so difficult to break this. So Elazer knows that he's on a bit of a timer, unless he wants to get into a 30-minute game. And here we go. He's going in once again with the Blinding Clouds.
Yeah, Blinding Clouds on the tanks. The Link Bait is rolling in, and it will take down at least the SCVs and a big chunk of the army as well.
Yeah, Baneling's rolling forward here, getting on top of those Marines. We do have some good tank positioning here, but overall we're running out of bio units. We run out of Ling Bane first as the Marine army does force back the Hydras.
Was it worth it though for Elazer? Because he did destroy the base. He's even denying it with that Zergling, but he did lose almost an entire army doing so.
Well, if we look at the battle report here, we took down 2 tanks, we took down 3 ghosts, a good amount of Marines, a lot of SCVs, and Elazer's already remaxed. And the purpose here of a Lingbane Hydra army, this doesn't trade efficiently, by the way. It trades when we lose so much whenever we do so, but we have a good enough economy, and we just need to keep knocking down the space over and over again. Like, Elazer, he just has to make sure that Spirit cannot max out, cannot get up and run.
By the way, Elazer is also preparing a bit of a new tech behind this, as well as we do have Ultralisks potentially on the way.
Yeah, Ultra Cavern is done, kind of plating on the horizon here. You can see the tanks are sieging up. This time eBay's here to wall off, but here we go. The Blinding Clouds once again on the tanks, and once again Elazer coming in from multiple angles.
Yeah, trying to completely surround this base, and once again he will clean up the base together with the Planetary, I believe. The army of Spirit is holding, but the base, the gold base, is once again destroyed.
And he even connects with the Marines, and this time it looks like he has too much. This time he has broken through the tank line, broken through the Marines. There are no more ghosts in position. GG gets called, and Elazer breaks Spirit here and now and takes the series 2-0. GG.
GG indeed. Really nice series from Elazer there. Like, very macro, to put it that way. Like, every game he was just taking over the entire map, like a true Zerg's form.
Yeah, exactly. You know, every game here. I mean, game 1 was a little bit different just because the BCs did kind of fall on their face. Here, game 2 was a lot more intense. We saw that Spirit was very aggressive, very in the face of Elazer, and it was a much closer fight. But eventually, Elazer held. He was able to maintain his economy, get up to 80 workers, take control of the map. And once again, we saw a similar scenario where Elazer, he was in control of that game, and he was just denying that 5th base over and over again. Spirit was very close. He was very close to stabilizing, so close to stabilizing, but Elazer was barely able to break him before that could actually happen.
Yeah, like Elazer knew that he has to do something about this. Like, he cannot let him just keep going, and that's why he just kept attacking. Like, every time he would remake this army and he would attack once again. He would try to surround this base once again, and eventually he was able to break Spirit completely.
Yeah, exactly. And he was on a really tight timer. To be honest, if he had waited like 30 extra seconds or something, especially when it came to the first and second push, then it would have been so much more difficult. You could even see their Spirit. He was trying to get eBay's up and running behind the gold wall as well, just so we could wall off there. For example, if that had gotten up, then suddenly the surround wouldn't be possible. Like, it was just so on a knife's edge whether or not Elazer could pull that off. And again, he was able to do so, able to maintain control of the momentum, and GG, well played. The previous SE2 House Circuit champion, Spirit, has been eliminated here in 3rd place. He will not advance on to the grand finals.
Yeah, so we have, I mean, a bit of a surprise, a bit not, because Elazer is still a very strong player, but a little bit of a surprise finals, as it will be Elazer versus Cristiano.
Yeah, exactly. Like, again, I did expect Spirit to make it to the finals. I expected a repeat of the last time they faced. But we did see as well that Spirit was having fun here in this tournament, right? Both games, 2-port BC, not standard games whatsoever. Hyper aggression out of Spirit. Again, he was enjoying himself, it looked like, and it almost worked in game 2. If only he had as much success in game 1, right? Like, it did feel like game 2 was a different player to game 1. Game 1 was a little more sloppier. Game 2, like, he felt on point. Like, that was a close game.
Yeah, like, as we said, like, it went like the beginning of second game went really well for him. Like, he got the damage done, he saved his units, and like, he had a strong army. And if game 1 was going as smoothly as the second one, like, maybe he could do something there.
Yeah, exactly. So, again, the problem here, especially in a best of 3, is that every game there's that much more onus on these games. There's very little room for mistakes and for these slip-ups, and as Spirit he gets punished here in a shorter series. And now we're going to be going on a short break. For those of you that are maybe tuning in a little bit later, for those of you that are maybe tuning in a little bit or more recently, we're getting ready for the grand finals. Cristiano has already beaten these two players. Cristiano, he popped off tonight. He took down both Elazer and Spirit, and Cristiano has been patiently waiting in the finals for his next victim, his next opponent. It's going to be a rematch, Cristiano versus Elazer in a best of 5.
Best of 7, actually.
Or best of 7. Oh, let's go!
Yeah, the finals are best of 7.
An even longer series here, so we're just going deep into the night. We have also just hit the 12-hour mark. We've been live for 12 hours straight, and we're gonna keep on it going here. One more best of 7, most likely gonna be another hour on top of that, at least 13-hour stream. Let's go, Bobby. Let's
F's in the chat for the YouTube VOD, by the way.
F's in the chat for the YouTube VOD. It's not gonna be able to keep up. But yeah, this is kind of what we expected here. Just a full day event of StarCraft right before you. And tomorrow, of course, we're going to be catching up on Masters Coliseum as well. I say tomorrow. Later on today, actually, for me. We're going to be catching up with Masters Coliseum. So yeah, it's a very intense weekend of StarCraft.
Yeah, definitely. But I mean, some really good games as well. And some surprising results.
Here we go. So yeah, we're going to be going on a short break. When we return, we will have the grand finals. Stay tuned and enjoy.
See you then.